Hello everyone, listen here. Here we are discussing about the pancreas, the features, relations, the supplies and the clinical conditions of the pancreas. As we all know, pancreas is a mixed gland having both exocrine part as well as endocrine part. So this exocrine part is helping for the digestion, endocrine part is producing some hormones. It is located within the concavity of the duodenum in the posterior abdominal wall. So it is fixed to the posterior abdominal wall and is a retroperitoneal organ. That means it doesn't have peritoneal covering. So it is a fixed organ which is not movable. It is J-shaped and the length of this gland is 15 to 20 centimeter and it weighs about approximately 90 gram. Regarding the parts of the pancreas, it consists of a head with uncinate process, a neck, a body and a tail. Here in this picture, what you can see is the head, this is a head region, this is a neck region, this is a body and a tail. And we know this is present within the concavity of duodenum. Same as like this, you will get the idea of the of how this pancreas is located. Here comes a duodenum. This is the pancreas head region. Then body and tail is present under the stomach. That's why it is faded in color because it is present under the stomach. Head of the pancreas, as we know, it lies within the concavity of duodenum and it consists of three borders, the superior, inferior and right lateral. The surfaces of head are anterior and posterior and it has one process called uncinate process. We will see the different parts of the head. Listen to this. Here is the superior border. The head consists of a superior border. Then here this is the inferior border. This is inferior border and this is lateral border. We can say this lateral border as right lateral because it belongs to the right side. Right lateral border. These are the borders. Then surfaces. This is anterior surface and opposite is the posterior surface. While looking at the relation, it is very clear from this picture itself. The superior border is related with the first part of the duodenum. Lateral border is related with the second part of the duodenum. Inferior border is related with the third part of the duodenum. So these three areas are covered by different parts of the duodenum as well as an artery which is called superior inferior mesenteric artery. In this picture we can see the superior border is having superior mesenteric, border is having superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, then inferior border has inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. So in this picture these arteries, both superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal arteries are not close to the borders, but it is saying as if it is present over the surface, but actually these arteries are present along the borders. This is inferior pancreaticoduodenal, this is superior pancreaticoduodenal, and both these arteries anastomosis along the lateral border. The superior border has this artery, then inferior border has this artery, lateral border has this artery along with the three different parts of the pancreas. That is about the relation of its borders. Then regarding the surface, anterior surface and posterior surface are there. See this diagram. Listen to this. What is present anteriorly? Nothing is there here. Nothing is there. Anterior part of the head is visible from out, but one structure is crossing along the anterior surface. That is nothing but our transverse colon. This portion of the transverse colon being cut off. That is why we are not seeing the transverse colon along the anterior surface. Is it? The ascending colon, transverse colon comes and crosses the anterior surface. So, anterior surface has the transverse colon. Then, posterior surface. Head, posterior surface. Posterior surface of the head of the pancreas is related with inferior vena cava and the bile duct. See, posteriorly the bile duct is passing, bile duct. This is coming posterior. Along with the bile duct, you can see inferior vena cava. Listen to this diagram. This is the inferior vena cava which is passing behind this, and again you can see the part of the inferior vena cava here. Here comes the inferior vena cava. This is, see, this is inferior vena cava, passes through the posterior surface, then comes here. That is a surface, posterior surface relation of the head of the pancreas. Now the uncinate process. Uncinate process is just an extension from the head of the pancreas. I will show you the uncinate process here. See, this is the uncinate process, this projection. This is extending from the head. Head has a projection or process which is called uncinate process. See, what is the relation of the uncinate process? Uncinate process is related with the superior mesenteric artery. Superior mesenteric artery or superior mesenteric vessels. Say, we can see the superior mesenteric vessels in relation with uncinate process. This is the superior mesenteric vein and this is the superior mesenteric artery that is passing in relation with the uncinate process, superior mesenteric vessels. Now the neck of the pancreas. Neck of the pancreas is just a constriction. Here comes the neck of the pancreas. Anteriorly there is no much relation, posterior relation, but the posterior relation of the neck of the pancreas is very, very important because an important vein is formed behind the neck. That is nothing but the portal vein. So, portal vein is passing behind this. The shadow of the portal vein is clear. Then the portal vein, how does it form? This is formed by the vein arising from the spleen, that is splenic vein, as well as the superior mesenteric vein. Splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein together forms a portal vein that goes to the liver. That is an important relation of neck of the pancreas. So, always posterior surface of the neck is having formation of the portal vein. Then we will move to the body. Body is extending from the neck region till the tail. While taking the section of the body, it is triangular shaped. So, I have added one triangular shaped cross section of the body of the pancreas to make you clear about its borders and surfaces. Borders and surfaces. In this picture, the pointed parts are the borders. This is superior border, this is inferior border, this is anterior border. Only the pointed parts are borders. Superior, this is inferior, then this is anterior. And the surfaces are between the borders. Between the superior border and anterior border is the anterior surface. Here is the anterior surface. Between anterior border and inferior border is the inferior surface. Between superior and inferior borders is the posterior surface. So, 3 borders and 3 surfaces. I will make you clear once more. Here is the superior border. This is the inferior border. This is the anterior border. Here comes anterior surface. Here comes inferior surface. Here comes posterior surface. These are the borders and surfaces of the body of the pancreas. Then, regarding the relation of the body of the pancreas, each of these features are having relations. Anterior border is giving attachment for the transverse mesocolon. Anterior border gives attachment for the transverse mesocolon. What is transverse mesocolon? That is nothing but the peritoneal covering of the transverse colon. We know the transverse colon is fully covered by peritoneum and it stretches under the surface of the stomach and get inserted or get attached along the anterior border of the pancreas. In this picture, you can see this anterior border with the attachment of the transverse mesocolon. Then the superior border has an artery. Superior border has a projection which is called tuber omentale. See, there is a projection on the body along the superior border. This is called the tuber omentale, and above the tuber omentale an artery is present. That artery is the celiac trunk. This is the superior border relation. Inferiorly, again superior mesenteric vessels. This is the inferior border. Inferior border has superior mesenteric vein and artery. So, we had seen the superior border, inferior border, anterior border. Now, three surfaces of the pancreas. While saying the surface, the anterior surface is always closely related with the stomach because stomach is lying over the pancreas. That is why pancreas become one of the important structures of stomach bed. In this picture, you can see the pancreas which is lying under the stomach. So, that is why the pancreas is in a faded color. The anterior surface of the body is always related with the stomach. Then, the body's posterior surface. Posterior surface, listen to this. What you can see is posteriorly, this is the body portion. What is present behind? Here you can see the kidney, left suprarenal gland. The left kidney and suprarenal gland is there. Obviously, the left renal vessels will be passing behind the pancreas. I will show you see this picture. This is kidney, left kidney. Part of the kidney is not visible because it is lying behind the body of the pancreas. Then this is the left suprarenal gland. Then another relation is aorta. Aorta, that is also passing behind this. So, aorta is there, left kidney, left suprarenal gland, then branch of the aorta to the renal, to the kidney, that is renal vessels, left renal vessels. In the next picture, it is a color diagram showing the same relation. Here you can see the kidney, suprarenal gland, then the aorta. This is aorta. So, aorta comes like this. Here comes the kidney. This is a suprarenal gland. Then from the aorta, renal vessels is passing. All these structures passes behind it. Then we can move to the next part, the duct of the pancreas. Two ducts are present, main pancreatic duct and accessory pancreatic duct. The two ducts are visible here. While taking the main pancreatic duct, it begins from the tail of the pancreas, runs through the body and enters the head. When it reaches the head, it joins with the bile duct. Bile duct comes from the liver. So, this bile duct and the main pancreatic duct together forms hepatopancreatic duct or hepatopancreatic ampulla. So this hepatopancreatic duct opens into the second part of the duodenum at a major duodenal papilla. You must have seen the structure of the second part, the interior of the second part of the duodenum, where we can see both minor duodenal as well as major duodenal papillae. Minor duodenal is above, major is below. Major receives the hepatopancreatic duct. That's a combination of bile duct as well as main pancreatic duct. This is the accessory pancreatic duct that begins from the lower part of the head region. From the head, it crosses the main duct and it joins or opens into the second part of the duodenum at minor duodenal papilla. On its way, the main pancreatic duct receives so many tributaries from either side, this and these. So many small tributaries are received by the main pancreatic duct. So this appearance looks like a fish bone, and this appearance is called herringbone pattern. Herringbone pattern. You can see the labeling here, herringbone pattern. This is a picture showing the same duct system. Main pancreatic duct opens here along with the bile duct. This accessory pancreatic duct opens here. Next is the blood supply of the pancreas. It is supplied by superior and inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. This is superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. This is inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, and both get anastomosis here. This is supplying the whole pancreas. Then regarding the venous drainage are done by all the veins which is present behind the pancreas, that is splenic vein, superior mesenteric vein and portal vein. Nerve supply is autonomic. Then regarding the function, it has digestive function as well as endocrine function. Digestive function of the pancreas is, this gives off the pancreas is producing the pancreatic juice, which is a digestive juice that is helping for the digestion of protein, carbohydrates and fats. That is consists of different enzymes that is helping for the breakdown of all these. Then as an endocrine part, it produces an important hormone from the endocrine area, that is islets of Langerhans, and this hormone is the insulin. So this insulin is an important hormone in the body that is controlling the sugar level in the cell. So the deficiency of this insulin causes diabetes mellitus, which is a very common condition. Then regarding the microscopic structure, this is the microscopic features of the pancreas. Here what you can see is both exocrine and endocrine part. Exocrine parts are major. The whole small circles, these are exocrine part. They are serous cells which produces the pancreatic juice. Endocrine parts are scattered among the exocrine. So in this picture we can see the dark colored portions are exocrine and the lightly stained these areas are endocrine. 1, 2, 3. Here you can see 4. This is 5. The last one 6, almost 6 numbers you can say. See, this is the 6th one. Numerous islets are visible in the pancreas, but this islets is very common towards the tail of the pancreas. So the islets of Langerhans is the endocrine part which is separated from the exocrine part by a connective tissue. Nothing else is there to separate or separate this exocrine endocrine parts. This endocrine part consists of, or the islets of Langerhans consists of 3 types of cells: alpha cells, beta cells and delta cells. Beta cells produces insulin. Since this tail of the pancreas is carrying more islets, it is very important that while removing the spleen, the tail of the pancreas is always related with the spleen. So it has a clinical importance. While doing splenectomy, there is a chance for the tail of the pancreas to rupture along with the spleen. So what happened is, After the surgery, the patient may develop diabetes mellitus because major part of the islets of Langerhans are located towards the tail of the pancreas. That is a clinical condition. Then other clinical aspects are pancreatitis. Pancreatitis is an inflammation of the pancreas. This picture shows a pancreas with inflammation. The head region is having a reddish color, that is an inflamed part. Then the pancreatic cancer. In this picture you can see the pancreatic tumor. A tumor develops towards the head region, upper part of the head region. This is a pancreatic tumor, it's a common condition. Then the difficulty of this portion is it is having numerous relations that you have to understand by repeatedly seeing this video, because all the areas, the head, neck, body, tail, all these are having borders and surfaces, and each part is having relations also. So the thing is, you have to repeatedly watch this video to make understand about what are the structures which is related to different areas of the pancreas. Thank you.